Am I the a-hole for believing my daughter over a grown man? Plus 8 updates. Original post. I don't know if I watch too many crime shows or if I'm just paranoid, so I've come here to ask. Last week I made chicken gnocchi soup. When it was almost done, I started helping my daughter with a school project. She got us both a bowl, and a few seconds later, my boyfriend runs into the room with a bowl and tells me to eat the bowl he has. I told him it was all the same, and he insisted that he wanted mine because it had more chicken. Thinking back now, I don't know how he would know that, considering my daughter dished it out. My daughter took the bowl he gave me and said she would eat it. He yanked it out of her hand and said, "No, it's for Mom." I took the bowl, and he went to the living room. I continued doing my daughter's project and told her not to eat the soup. About 20 minutes later, I walked into the kitchen to pour the soup out, and he was still eating his. He asked why we didn't eat any, and I said the cat got into it while we were waiting for it to cool down. He screamed, "What? Was it your bowl? Cats can't eat that." I told him it was only a lick, but he has been stressed out, watching the cat like a hawk, obsessive even. His reaction was very weird. These accidents all happened before the soup incident over the span of 6 months. It wasn't one after another in a short period of time. Since then, my emergency money has gone missing. I keep money hidden just in case. I lost my older sister because she wasn't able to escape a dangerous situation, and I literally swore on her grave I would never be in that position. After the soup incident, I went to get my money, and it was gone. It was hidden, and I changed the location every few months. I asked my daughter if maybe she found it, and that if she took it, I wouldn't be mad, because I knew she couldn't have spent it. She said no. A few hours later, she told me she forgot. But the other day, she and my boyfriend got pulled over, and she saw my pink wallet in his glove box. I did not tell her which wallet it was in, or that it was in a wallet. I decided to ask him if he found it by accident. He asked me why I was hiding a large amount of money. "You know you could never leave me," and laughed. He has never said anything like that before. I told him it was for my daughter's Christmas. He said no, he didn't find the money, but could use his credit card for gifts. I didn't tell him about my daughter seeing my wallet in his car. Here are a few other things that have happened in the past few months that seemed random at the time, but now they don't. I have a severe allergy to latex. One day we were about to have sex, and I glanced at the mirror we have by our bed and saw the condom wrapper was a different color. I stopped him because it wasn't latex-free, and he said it was a mistake and just an older one he had. We have been dating for over 2 years, and he knows how serious my allergy is. My EpiPen that I keep in my room is missing, and I didn't realize it until I was searching for my money. Another odd thing is one day he was following me down the stairs while I was carrying laundry, and he kicked the back of my leg and I fell. He said he slipped, but the stairs are wood, and he was wearing his steel toe boots. At the time, I thought it was an accident. Am I overthinking this? My anxiety has been at an all-time high. Do I watch too much true crime? Here is why I think I might be the a-hole. We have a good relationship. He loves my daughter like she is his. We split all shared bills, and we both pull our own weight around the apartment. We don't fight. He has never so much as raised his voice at me. We are paycheck to paycheck, but bills are paid. I thought about going to my mom's house for a few days and asking him when I get there, when I'm safe, about the money. But I don't have money to do that now. She is on a fixed income and can't help. I feel stupid for being scared. Last night I decided to check his car for my wallet, and he caught me. I asked him for my money back, and he tried playing dumb. I told him my daughter saw it there. He told me she was lying. I told him I never told her about the money or what wallet it was in. He said he was a grown man and kids lie all the time. I asked him once more for my money, and he said, "I'm not giving you money to leave me." I waited until he was in the shower to grab my cat and my daughter, and we left. I can't take my cat with us to a shelter, and the DV shelters are full. I was able to get us a night at a cheap motel. This exact situation is why I had money saved. I did everything right, and now I'm screwed. I feel like I just blew up my entire life. Yes, I'm using a burner account and reading all the comments that I can. Now for the top comments before reading the updates. I would not be at all surprised if he took out a life insurance policy on you. Is there a way to check if he did? Only if he used her money. If he paid for it, the only way to find it would be to watch the mail for documents from an insurance company or check his bank statements. Run immediately. The allergy, missing EpiPen, and what was in your soup that made him so anxious about it? OP, I'm sorry you lost your sister, but please see that you are in just as much danger as she was. And so is your daughter. Get the heck out of there. If you need money, I'll send some through PayPal. But please leave. You're in serious danger. You're not paranoid. He's trying to hurt you. How much money did he take? If he's offered his credit card for you to go shopping, go straight to an ATM and take the money you lost out of his card. Use that to get away. We are already out, and he is pissed. There is no way he would give me his card and let me take it alone. Isn't it illegal to say I'm using it for gifts, but use it to withdraw money? I don't know. I'm so stressed out. I don't mean to sound stupid. Now for the first update 5 days later, my post got a lot of attention and my account was shadow banned for a few days, but I was able to appeal and got my account back. The day after we left, he sent me a picture of my EpiPen and tried telling me it was in my nightstand the whole time. I tore that room apart looking for it, so I know for 100% fact it wasn't there. He took it. He tried getting me to come back, telling me I scared myself stupid and watched too much true crime TV. Something didn't feel right, so I told him to put my money and EpiPen in the mailbox. We went back and forth, and he denied having my money. He then said, if we broke up, you and Mary, my daughter, are no longer allowed in my apartment and will be treated like trespassers, and sent me a picture of his target practice sheets. I went to the police about the money and was told it was a civil issue. I was upset but wanted the rest of my stuff, so I asked for an escort. Yesterday, I finally got an escort into the apartment with a cop and my landlord. He destroyed everything of my daughter's, and he ruined the laptop charger I use for work. No EpiPen. My daughter's medication and backup medical supplies were ruined. Our landlord let me off the lease without having to pay an early termination fee, which is great considering I have no money. Motels are expensive. I don't want to get rid of our cat. All shelters are full, and this is scary as hell. I'm sorry this is a crappy update, but I know people wanted it. I'm so sorry. I wish I could give you any advice, but this is awful. I'm not religious, so I can't pray for you, but goddamn you're in my thoughts. Do you have a good relationship with your nearby pharmacy and good medical insurance? Do you have any insurance on any of your belongings he destroyed? There has to be something to be done. I'm beyond angry that nothing can be done. Insurance won't cover her medications or supplies until next month. She just got refills. I can get her meds, but I'll pay out of pocket. I have no money. Since I couldn't prove my money existed, I can't prove he stole it. I'm livid. Try a restraining order. Nope, not unless he gets physical with me. I should have let him hit me, and I would have a lot more help available, which is so messed up. Second update 5 days later. I just updated 5 days ago, but this will be my final update for now, because there is nothing anyone can do. I was encouraged to go back to the police station after my last update. On Saturday, December 9th, I went back again. This time I printed out the threatening text messages that included the target practice sheets he sent. I explained in detail about the accidents, proving he was trying to hurt me, and I even had my landlord put in writing that he believed our lives were in danger after seeing everything I was showing the police, which is why he let me leave my lease early. I brought in the destroyed medical supplies and medications. The police said they had already talked to him, and he denied doing any of it. He told them my daughter probably destroyed her own things because she is special ed. She has very mild Asperger's but doesn't destroy things. Since it was his word against mine, they believed him. I didn't have proof he stole the money or that it even existed in the first place. I was told the EpiPen was my responsibility and they wouldn't do anything if it was lost. I was told to let it go, and they acted like I was bothering them with my petty civil issues. I am so defeated and angry. My daughter isn't going to have gifts for Christmas because I have to save for a new deposit on an apartment. We have been staying in motels while I've been reaching out to DV resources. I can't get help without a restraining order or police report. Every place is out of funds. He is getting away with everything, and I'm so glad we got out, because there is no doubt in my mind he would have gotten away with my murder. That's what happened. Nothing new. No justice. No repercussions for him. He gets to stay in the apartment. My landlord offered me another unit across town, but I can't afford to move in. This exact situation is why I had money stashed away, because no one has ever cared about me or us, and I knew that. There is nothing else I can do. Third update 3 months from the first post. Last month, I was finally granted the restraining order, and we got the keys to our new apartment January 11th. It's a place I can afford monthly, comes partially furnished, and is in a super safe area right by my daughter's school. There's even security. Until then, we had been living in our car. Of course it has to be snowing. But we're together, and we have our kitty. I thought this nightmare is almost over, but this morning he found me. I've been sick as hell, so after I dropped my daughter off at school, I went straight home. I didn't drive around to make sure no one was following me. I messed up. He attacked me, broke my nose, and shattered my orbital bone. He's in jail now. Sorry for the heavy update, y'all. Fourth update 2 weeks later. It all makes sense now. If you need more context, please read my past posts. In my first post, I said how we had a normal relationship, and he was never abusive, controlling, or raised his voice. The money that he ended up stealing was money I had hidden since before he even moved in. I was not hiding money to get away from him. I was not afraid of him. I lost my sister to DV and swore I'd never have that happen to me, only to end up in that exact situation. We didn't have this spectacular love that was filled with insane chemistry, nowhere near a love of my life situation, which is why I was so confused by how desperate he got. After he got arrested, his mom went on a social media rant because I got her baby locked up and knew we were sleeping in my car. So she was telling her followers that if they find me to call her very bold and insane. One of my ex's friends saw this and commented, "I don't know if you should be sticking up for him. He needs serious help." I don't know how I caught it before it was deleted, but I reached out to him on my burner Facebook. He said every time they were drinking, he would talk about my daughter inappropriately and then laugh it off. It made his friends uncomfortable, but they chalked it up to the booze. 2 weeks ago, when my daughter came to see me in the hospital, she was distraught. It made sense because I looked like hell, but she kept repeating over and over asking me why he did this to me. I think there was more to this, and I'm frightened to my core. Remember, he stole my EpiPen and money, but he destroyed almost everything of hers, and I didn't understand it because she had nothing to do with the breakup. Why did he destroy her medicine? Why did he destroy her clothes? Freaking why? Don't abusers threaten their victims into not saying anything, or else something is going to happen to someone, or something they love? I'm sick to my stomach even writing that out. I don't know where to go from here. How do I even begin a conversation about this with her? We are safe. I'm not worried about him finding us because he is still in jail, which is great because I'm out of money. He wasn't desperate and crazy because he was losing me. I think it was because of her. Fifth update another month later. To recap, he possibly poisoned my soup, tried putting me into anaphylactic shock while hiding my EpiPen, stole my get-out money, broke a motel window to get to us after we left, made inappropriate statements about my daughter to his friends, hid a tracking device in my cat carrier, and ignored a restraining order that resulted in me getting a concussion, a broken nose, and a shattered orbital bone. I know this is all I post about, and if you want more context, you can read my past posts. I feel like I need to tell someone what is happening so it feels real, and so I don't feel like I'm just upset and crazy for nothing. My ex got out on bail last week. My daughter's school knows about my situation and that I have a restraining order. My daughter got a call from the front office at school. The secretary told her that the pickup car had changed from mine to a new car. She was told this so that when school let out, she wouldn't get upset when she didn't see my car. The new car is the same one my ex drives. It is a rare car in color, and she told me she knew it was his. She didn't say anything to the secretary or her teacher because she was instantly scared. It breaks my heart that she was afraid because she thought he had gotten me and was going to get her. She was given this message hours before school let out, so she spent all that time worrying. The last 10 minutes of the day are when the kids can use the bathroom and clean up. She started crying in front of her whole class, and when the bell rang, she refused to leave her classroom. I was in the carpool line when I got the call from her teacher. I have never seen her so upset, and that's saying a lot because she was distraught when she visited me in the hospital. Face beet red, hyperventilating, snot everywhere. She had cried so hard she got a nosebleed. After they told me what happened, I was livid. It all sounded like BS because the secretary never should have relayed the message without talking to me first, especially since she said it was a male on the phone. As soon as the secretary looked my daughter up to find out which room to call, she should have seen the note I thought I had on file, saying no one should ever pick her up but me. No information should ever be released. He was never in contact with her, so it's not that big of a deal. It was a mistake, is what they told me. All he had to give was her full name and grade to get a message to her. They said that to me with a straight face, while the bruises he gave me were still visible, proving he is a violent man. I'm so freaking angry. She told me she knew I didn't get a new car because, as much as I try to hide it from her, she knows I'm broke. She thought she was going to have to go with him. She has been so traumatized, and I don't know what to do. She wants to switch to e-learning, but since it's not for a medical reason and not a school-wide restriction, I would have to pay to rent the laptop, which I obviously can't. The school is calling it an innocent mistake and didn't even apologize. I know I'm the only one responsible for my daughters and my safety, but damn if people could stop jeopardizing it like it's nothing and then acting like I'm the a-hole for being upset because it was a mistake. He wasn't there after school, but he could have been. 6th update 5 months from first post. I just want to say that if anyone is going through something similar to me, you can vent to me. This is something you have to experience to understand how hard it is. I know there are DV resources, but they are extremely limited. I had someone on here checking in with me, and when I explained what was going on, I was asked, "Why aren't you stable yet?" And it kind of took me off guard. Only a few people knew I was pregnant through this. I miscarried. I left my home with basically nothing and went to a hotel. He found me. I went to another hotel. He found me. I went to a safe house for 2 nights where I was asked to leave because my ex was dangerous. I slept in my car with my daughter, went to my mom's out of state, then came back to my home state because DV resources here helped me get an apartment. He followed me back to my apartment from my daughter's school. I was hospitalized when he broke my nose, shattered my orbital bone, and gave me a concussion. I had to leave that apartment, go back to hotels and sleeping in my car, and finally back to my mom's. So much money feels wasted. I have the opportunity to be added onto her new lease, but it's a bigger unit and requires a first and last deposit. Impossible unless I rob a bank. The pet deposit is already paid, but I only have until the 1st, or we are back to living in the car because we have exceeded our visitation days. A year lease where my rent would only be $500 a month, utilities maybe $150. I'd be saving so much money and be able to rebuild my life. We would all have our own rooms, which means privacy. Even though we are all female, privacy is precious. I haven't slept in a bed since the hotel beds, but even then, it wasn't my bed. It's been my car, hotel beds, or the couch. Even when we were briefly in our new place, I still slept on a couch with it pushed against the front door. I know all my posts are about the same thing, one thing after another, and yes, it is exhausting and repetitive, but think about how I feel. I'm desperate for stability, and I can't get it because he took so much from me. It wasn't until I was out of our house and away from him that I realized how much power he had over my life. It's embarrassing. Even if I have to go back to living in my car, I'll still be around to talk, and I'll still be optimistic because I deserve good things to happen to me that aren't only in my dreams. 7th update 1 month later. I want to say this was a genuine mistake and not done with malicious intent, but I still need to vent about it. Just like my daughter's school letting my abuser give her a message, this was an accident, but accidents put my life in danger and I'm exhausted. I post about my situation a lot, and despite a few users thinking my ex would find my Reddit, I'm not worried about that. However, I am terrified of him knowing where I am. He has gone through a restraining order. Police don't scare him, and when he gets arrested, he will just get bailed out. I knew the only way I could live a normal life was by getting as far away from him as possible. So I took my daughter and cat and moved in with my mom a few states away. I was 100% confident that he didn't know where I was because they never met. We were actually estranged for a few years before my ex and I even got together. I started feeling safe. I stopped jumping when I heard loud trucks. I was starting to get comfortable, even though not a lot of time had passed. A few days ago, my cat's back legs stopped working and he lost control of his bodily fluids. I was working, but my mom rushed him to the ER vet. There were questions she couldn't answer, so they asked if he was chipped. He is, but I changed my number a few times lately, so one of the two numbers was out of service. They called the second one. I forgot to remove his number. I know this is my fault. The vet called him to get information, and he didn't give any and hung up on them. The receptionist said he called back about 5 minutes later and said, "I know she doesn't have money. Tell her I'll save her cat if she comes home." He knows how much my cat means to me. He found me the first time I left because his mom helped him sew an AirTag into the lining of the cat carrier. He knew if I was to ever leave him, I wouldn't leave my cat. One time, my ex threw him out of the house to hurt me while I was at work. He refused to leave the porch. My ex then tried squirting him with a water bottle, and when that didn't work, he sprayed him with a hose. He basically got waterboarded and still would not leave. He is my soul cat. When I got to the vet and they told me what happened, I had one of the worst panic attacks I've had in a while. I've had my cat for 10 years, and he has never gotten sick or injured. He has a UTI and a fractured foot from falling. The vet thinks he probably hurt his foot first, which led to the UTI since he wasn't using the litter box. I noticed he was slightly limping a few days ago, but I couldn't get him into the vet yet. The UTI developed quickly. I was naive in thinking the vet would save a pet's life even if the owner couldn't pay up front, but it isn't like a human going into the ER. I've spent so much money and time trying to get away from my ex, while also trying to live a normal, safe life for my daughter. Once again, something happens, and he now knows the city we are in. I'm not running again because I can't. I don't think he will drive up here because, like I said, I'm a few states away. But man, did this bring back my paranoia and irrational fear. I changed the chip information, but the damage is done. I was a freaking idiot for not doing it sooner. This is my fault. I'm so damn tired. Last update 21 months after first post. On November 23, 2023, I made a post questioning whether or not I was the a-hole for believing my daughter. I was ignorant and naive for second-guessing myself. Here is a little TLDR of everything that has happened since I left. He hunted us like animals and had help doing so. I had to break 2 different apartment leases after he found us. He went through restraining orders. I was hospitalized twice after he got violent. We slept in the car on and off for weeks after leaving. We were asked to leave shelters for the safety of everyone else. I eventually had to flee the state after he started targeting my daughter at her school. My cat died and my mom 9 months ago. In March of this year, my daughter got MRSA down to the bone in her left foot and had to amputate it. She bravely testified against him, and some of the things that emerged were things she had hidden from me. He is a monster. She is probably going to have to do e-learning again this year, but this time it isn't because I'm scared he is going to find her. He stole my safety nets, and I haven't been able to recover. On July 6th, our apartment flooded and is a total loss. We lost everything we had. He completely ruined me, but knowing he's going to sit and rot in a prison in Indiana for the next 12 years brings me so much peace. Last month, he was sentenced and justice was actually served. I know my situation isn't unique, and I know firsthand how hard it is to leave and stay away. I should not have made excuses for the red flags and should have left sooner. I still get messages from women saying they would never leave their partner for their kids. Although no one in his real life believes he belongs there and thinks I'm the horrible one who ruined his life, I am not the a-hole. Is there any way you can bring a civil suit against him and get some financial compensation for what he put you through? He has court-ordered restitution to my daughter and I as part of his sentence. Just waiting is the hardest part. Keeping my fingers crossed that things have truly turned around for you now. I remember your previous posts and I was terrified for you and your daughter, and your mother and your cat. I'm glad you and your daughter got justice for your ordeal, and I'm glad that POS will be locked up for a long time. I'm sending you and your daughter prayers for health, peace, and happiness. I hope Mother Nature cuts you some slack too. Easily the scariest thing I've gone through, and that includes him trying to end my life. A month later and I still think about it. We were trapped in the apartment up to our chest. And thank you. I hope it's a long 12 years. Last story. Am I the a-hole for telling my fiancé I will not sign a prenup? My fiancé and I have been together for almost 6 years and engaged for a little over 1. We have our wedding planned for 2 months from now. Out of nowhere last week, he brought up wanting a prenup. He said it is to protect his business in case things go wrong in the future. He owns a small but successful company that he has been growing since before we met. When we first started dating, he was still working long hours for very little income. I have always been there through the late nights, the stressful launches, and even the times he considered giving up. I helped him manage the house, took on more of the bills when he needed extra cash flow, and supported him emotionally through everything. I do not have as much money or assets as he does now, but I have invested years of my life into building a future together. So when he suddenly told me about the prenup, it felt like a slap in the face. I told him I was not comfortable signing something that makes it seem like he is already planning for our marriage to fail before it has even started. He said he is just being smart and protecting himself, and then added that if I refuse to sign, the wedding will be called off. I feel blindsided and hurt. This was never mentioned before we got engaged or during the time we were planning the wedding. My friends are split. Some say I should sign it if I truly love him and want to prove I am not after his money. Others say the timing and ultimatum are a huge red flag and that he is showing me he does not really trust me. I keep going back and forth on whether I am overreacting or if this is a sign we should not get married at all. Not the a-hole if that's how you feel, but you could build clauses into the prenup that acknowledge your work and support. Exactly this. OP, prenups don't have to be one-sided. You can negotiate terms that protect both of you and recognize the years you've invested in his success. It could actually give you peace of mind rather than take it away. This is to say, get a lawyer and negotiate.